Is it 9? Okay, you guys are good? Okay, welcome, good morning, thank you for coming. I want to especially thank our congressional staff. I see Miller Meeks staff, I see Senator Grassley's staff. Is there others missing? Sorensen, Durbin, all the wonderful collaboration that we do with them. They are so helpful and they are vested in the Rock Island Arsenal, and that, folks, is why we're here today. This is all about unity for the Rock Island Arsenal, unity for the Rock. I think very rarely do you see a coalition that's standing up here with me today. We have mayors from the Quad Cities, county chairs, Defense Alliance board members. So as chair of the Rock Island Arsenal Defense Alliance, I'm so honored and privileged to be here and lead off this press conference. But if you're a member of the Rock Island Arsenal Defense Alliance, please raise your hand so everybody can see the different types of people we have as part of that coalition, right? Our whole purpose is to advocate and support the Rock Island Arsenal. So again, thank you for coming and welcome to the Unity for the Rock press conference. This is a bi-state, bipartisan coalition of support for our Rock Island Arsenal friends, both civilians, families, military. This base, as you all know, I think, is a key component in the lethality and readiness of our Army and, quite frankly, our joint forces. Everybody knows when we have to make that decision, meaning the National Command Authority has to make that decision to engage our forces anywhere in the world, that the critical component of that is the supply chain, the logistics chain, and in this case, the munitions chain. We have two critical entities, the Joint Munitions Command and the Army Sustainment Command, that sole purpose is to ensure the warfighter and all the entities around the world that represent the National Command Authority have what they need to do the job that, quite frankly, the American people and the National Command Authority ask them to do. So I'm so proud to stand here with my Rock Island Arsenal Defense Alliance friends, the representatives from our congressional delegation, our county chairs, both in Scott and Rock Island. As you know, most people don't live on the Arsenal. They live in our communities. This is a community effort to protect, sustain, and ensure the viability of the Rock Island Arsenal. Basically half and half. People that work on the Arsenal live in Iowa and Illinois. A great bi-state, bipartisan coalition. So I stand here today along with my fellow mayors and community leaders across the Quad Cities to highlight the importance of the Rock Island Arsenal as one of our largest employers in the Quad Cities and the impact the recent Department of Defense memo may have on our community. The Department of Defense has proposed a merger between Army Sustainment Command and the Joint Munitions Command, headquartered right here at the Rock Island Arsenal. Army Sustainment Command is responsible for end-to-end sustainment of Army forces worldwide, delivering fuel, food, shelter, vehicles, and parts worldwide. They're in charge. That's what goes on at the Army Sustainment Command. It manages pre-positioned stocks, field support brigades, logistics readiness centers, and contractor integration, again, around the world. Joint Munitions Command is responsible for the entire munitions life cycle. You guys know there's a lot of discussion about munitions, etc. in the world. This is who manages and controls and ensures that that happens. For all U.S. services, production, storage, quality assurance, distribution, and demilitarization in cases, it manages the industrial base of ammunition plants and depots across the country. This action is being driven by a desire, we believe, to cut overhead and consolidate logistics functions. However, such a move risks sacrificing effectiveness for perceived efficiency. These guys here on the Rock Island Arsenal, the men and women who serve, either in a civilian capacity, military capacity, their families, sole purpose is to ensure that the warfighter has the lethal tools, the key component, whether it's logistics or munitions, to do their job. And this is just potentially the beginning. We believe the Secretary of Army has already called for a second round of transformations, further endangering readiness and the economic future of our region. Think about that. So again, you've heard me speak, but the importance of this place, I use the analogy when I talk to people, especially when they come here, folks. A lot of people hear about the Rock Island Arsenal. They're not sure what goes on, but boy, when they get here, do they say how impressed they are for the work that goes on. Because, again, the critical piece is, folks, that the warfighter and the divisions that go fight the wars can't do their job. Think about it. The 3-star command, right? 1st Army. In charge of mobilization and deployment and training for the entire reserve component, National Guard and Army Reserve. Nobody goes to war without the reserve component. Army Sustainment Command, entire support, logistics chain, worldwide, and we understand all these things that are going worldwide, right? Whether it's in the Far East, Europe, Middle East, they are the sustainment and logistics piece that ensures our fighters have what they need. And then, of course, Munitions Command, again, worldwide mission. We need to enhance these places and these commands, not take from. Our collective mission today is simple, folks. Protect the Rock Island Arsenal, protect our economy, and protect our national security. I'm now privileged to hand over the next piece to our Vice Chair and a former Arsenal employee who probably knows as much about this place as anyone, and I'm so proud to work with her, Trish Huber.
Thank you, Mayor Mattson. Good morning. I appreciate having the opportunity to talk with you. I had 32 years on the island before I retired in 2015. So through that time, I saw a lot of changes. My last assignment, I was the senior civilian executive for the Joint Munitions Command, so I'm very familiar with the JMC ammunition part of the business. Over the 32 years, I've seen a lot of changes. There was other Army initiatives, base realignments, downsizing, reorganizations, a lot. But when I look at the SEC Army's current transformation initiatives, they are significant and they will be disruptive. It will be a challenge to implement those initiatives and not disrupt the critical missions that are performed across DoD and, especially focused on the island. So I'm very surprised when I look at the SEC Army's letter, and in that letter, he directs the restructuring of the sustainment enterprise within the Army Materiel Command. So the Joint Munitions Command and the Army Sustainment Command work for the Army Materiel Command that's located down in Huntsville. For some reason, and I haven't found out what that reason is, they've specifically called out these two commands, but the Army Materiel Command has a lot of other facilities, sites, commands that aren't mentioned. So it's interesting, it'll be interesting to see how they come out with the final plan. But as they're preparing that, this is our time to be very aggressive in support and defending the critical missions these commands do. So I want to just give you an example because I know there's a different language that's talked from DoD to the civilian side. And so from my seat at JMC and the perception I can give you on what a critical mission is. So as the mayor said, the Joint Munitions Command produces, stores, and distributes conventional ammunition for not just the Army, but all of the services. And it goes from small cal ammunition to 5,000-pound bombs. So you can imagine that you just don't move ammunition without significant security and safety measures. It's not your Amazon delivery. And the people on the island working for JMC, they do this daily without incident. That's a critical mission. So going beyond that, I want to also just, my last point to talk about is to talk about the fact that there are two, again, critical, we use the word a lot, but they are critical industrial-based, organic industrial-based facilities that are located on the island. That's the Joint Manufacturing and Technology Center and the Quad City Cartridge Case Facility. These sites These facilities are located there because they are serving, they're government-owned, and they are serving as the Department of Defense's insurance policy. It means they'll always be there to meet any demand, urgent demand, and always be able to respond, where if you were in the commercial industry, it would take time to gear up, to get your equipment in and be able to turn that around. It's kind of like you have this capability and it's staying warm to provide for later. And that later could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now, it could be 5 years from now, but they are always ready. So the two sites that are on the island right now, they're the anchor to the island because they're probably not going anywhere. To move that equipment, it's massive. And the emphasis right now is really on growing the organic industrial base, and there's a lot of money flowing towards them. And these two sites are very capable of growing. And this is another opportunity we have that we can support. And we've been a big part, the RIADA board has been a big part in helping develop the language, the legislative language that says if there is work that is relative to these two facilities, we want that work to go there first, to workload them, to keep them as active as possible. That is going to help these industrial sites stay as sharp as possible. So I hope you can see my passion for the island. I love that Mayor Mattson was so passionate for everything. I mean, what's happening here could be a huge impact to the island and a huge impact to the community. So it is just so appreciative to see all of our mayors, county supervisors, private industry, everybody supporting this and making it such a synergistic effort that is going to go a long way to help preserve the island. So I'm now going to pass it over to Peter Tokar, who's from our chamber. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Trish. You've heard from our community leaders and former Arsenal employees about the proposed changes to the Rock Island Arsenal. The Rock Island Arsenal is one of our region's most significant economic drivers in the Quad Cities, employing over 6,000 uniformed and civilian Quad citizens. The collective impact of the work that goes on at the Arsenal amounts to billions of dollars in regional economic impact to the Quad Cities and beyond. Each employee serves our national defense on the island, representing each and every one of our Quad City communities and contribute to the vibrancy of our region. They are our neighbors, our friends, and our colleagues. Any proposed reduction of workforce will have a direct impact on both the Arsenal's effectiveness and the Quad Cities community. We support efforts in government efficiency. That's of no question. In fact, the Rock Island Arsenal has been leading the way for some time, providing rapid response, innovative solutions to the Army to real-time issues through the Manufacturing Center of Excellence and the Quad Cities Manufacturing Lab. And how has the Arsenal been able to do this? Because of the highly skilled and dense manufacturing workforce the Quad Cities has to offer, which is a significant strategic advantage to the Arsenal that they have apart from any other installation around the country. That innovative spirit continues through initiatives such as the Quad Cities Manufacturing Institute, which aims to position the Quad Cities as a national hub for manufacturing innovation, all birthed right here from the Rock Island Arsenal. Now is the time as a community to stand together to support the Rock Island Arsenal. The influence and output that the Arsenal has to both our region and the nation cannot be understated. Again, we support operational efficiency in all industries, but through innovation. We look forward to continuing this conversation with our national leaders to see how we can achieve this together. I'll turn it back over to Mayor Mattson to give some final comments.
Thank you, Trish and Peter. So again, folks, you see the coalition that's here. You see the Defense Alliance folks. You see the staff. You literally see the Rock Island Arsenal through those windows. The Moline Gate's right there. Mayor, Rock Island, Mayor Bettendorf. I mean, we all see it every day. The work and the people that come and go there from all around the world. Critical, critical. And again, some people, they come, I knew about the arsenal, but I didn't know it was there until they get here. And they are so impressed, both by the people that work there, the people in the community, the military folks and families that move here and then live in our community are so impressed by the love that is shared on both sides of the river between all of us and how welcoming. It's because of what they do there that creates that common denominator. So to reiterate, this isn't just a minor reorganization, folks. This has potential long-term impact to the fabric of the Quad Cities. I talked about lethality. That's a word that's been used a lot. We don't have lethality without that supply chain, without that munitions chain. The Army has already, we believe, called for a second round of transformation that potentially is in progress now. I would encourage collaboration with our community, to our Army leaders. If you haven't been here, to our Defense Department leaders, if you haven't been here, please come. And I know anybody here, would be happy to take you, put you in our vehicle, show you our community, our communities, show you the arsenal. We can get on. Talk about the things that you probably don't hear when you're in the Beltway. How important this is, especially to my fellow Rakkasan friend at the head of the Department of Defense. Please come. Happy to show you. Happy to invite you to come here and have a tour. We're asking, this is an opportunity. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like it's not. This is an opportunity for everyone in the Quad Cities to collaborate and come together and to invite and collaborate with the Army leaders to do what's best for our warfighter, to do what's best for our community. So I have an ask. So everybody listening today, tomorrow on the respective news, and I thank the media for being here, we're asking all Quad Cityans to join together by signing a petition, urging our federal leaders to protect this asset that is the Rock Island Arsenal. You can go to the Quad City Chamber website, social media platforms, and please do that. This is an opportunity, folks, and this is what I want to leave you with, to come together as a community for the shared cause to protect the arsenal, protect the economy, protect our national security. I thank you all for coming, and I'm sure if you want to talk to any individuals here, they'd be more than happy to do that. Appreciate the media being here and sending this message that we are unified, again, by state, bipartisan, together, unity for the Rock. Thank you very much.